Happy Tuesday, y'all. We're at the end of April and I am tired of freezing weather. We have another freeze warning tonight. And I mean, I knew there was cold weather coming, but it's just kind of makes my brain hurt. I'm so tired of cold weather. I have some more potatoes I need to get out, and they're not going to be affected by that. I mean, I could put them in the ground, no big deal. But I have some leek starts that I've multi-sown, some onions I've multi-sown, a few herbs, like cold hardy herbs that I want to put out. But with it possibly getting down to 29 tonight, I'm going to wait on those. I just am ready to get them out of my house. I've started some more things inside, like my sunflowers and some other of my flowers. And what else did I start? I can't think right now. My brain is so tired that I'm having a hard time. I'm having a hard time putting my words together and just thinking clearly all together. But all that to say, I still have more things I want to start. Oh, I started my my pumpkins and my squash. I'm doing some experiments this year, starting crops that I would normally recommend you not start from seed inside. But I've been watching people do this, and I've decided it's my turn to give it a go. So I've got some winter squash started inside, some summer squash, some pumpkins, some cantaloupe, cucumbers. Yeah, I've started all of them inside. And I have a feeling that I'm going to have a little bit more success with some of these crops that I normally directly plant in the ground. That's partially because we have such a short growing season here in Southwest Michigan that I think this is going to allow me to get those plants going, get them a head start going into the season. It's also going to be nice because I can plant them right where I want them. They've already germinated, so I'm not going to have an open space out in the garden. Whatever's germinated inside will go out here. I can plop it down right where I want it to go. And like last year, I had the darndest time getting cucumbers started, which is so bizarre. Cucumbers are so easy to grow, and I just couldn't grow them for the life of me last year. And so I'm starting all my cucumbers inside. And I know where I'm putting them when they come out to the garden. They're going to be following my peas if all goes well. Or at least they're going to be along this fencing right here I'm looking at. And I'm just hoping to have a better year with cucumbers. I'm also multi-sowing beets, radishes, and turnips, and starting them inside. I've never started those things inside, and I'm trying it this year. I've seen people have a lot of success with it, and I'm convinced that it's going to be the way to go from here on out. That doesn't mean I will stop sowing those things in the ground directly, but I think I'm going to be working on doing more of it inside and trying to get a succession planting going. As far as like those little seeds and trying to get them right where you want them to go in your beds, this way they're growing together in a group. And some plants do better grown that way, like radishes and beets and turnips and onions and leeks, surprisingly. And then I can put them right where I want them in the ground, space them out evenly. I'm not having to come out here and thin them. The only thing I'll really have to sow directly in the ground and thin are carrots and parsnips. You can't start those inside. So I'm excited about this trial that I've been doing here. And I'll definitely show you my starts before I get them in the ground and after. They should be going out in the ground here in the next week or two. I started them a week ago. So I want to give them 3 weeks inside, and then I'll pop them out here in the ground. We'll see how they do. I actually wrote an article, a post on my blog talking about multi-sowing and the different plants that you can start that way inside, sown multiple together, and not thinning them, growing them as a clump outside. And I've talked about which ones you can do that way. I've kind of divided them up into 5 groups, and also giving you the directions on how many seeds to start in the cell, and then if they end up all germinating, what to thin down to. So for example, if you're growing beets, ideally you want to grow 4 beets in a clump, but you might start 5 or 6 seeds to make sure you get that. If you didn't know, beet seeds and sometimes chard seeds, one seed might actually develop 2 plants. So in a way, if you start 4 beet seeds, you might end up with 6 plants. But I always play it safe and plant a few extra. But on my blog, you'll find that post I pointed up here, but it's actually a blog post, so I'll be linking it. I'll be linking it in the description. I see, I'm so tired. But it's a cool read. It's a really neat strategy if you've never done it before to give it a try. I've seen Charles Dowding. I talk about him a lot because I just think he's an amazing gardener. But I've seen him do it successfully, and I'm determined that if he can do it, I can do it, and I'm going to give it a go. So check out that blog. You might find yourself multi-sowing throughout the season this year. So yeah, I am, it's a cold, blustery, well, it's not blustery, but it's a cold day here. So I am going to try to get the rest of these potatoes in the ground right here behind me in this new space. I think I'm just going to sow them right here on this edge and then have the rest of this be, like I mentioned, the sunflowers, pumpkins, and corn. So I want to try to get those potatoes in the ground, possibly today, if not tomorrow. It's supposed to be a little bit warmer tomorrow. And then also I went to a local dairy farmer here in town where we get our milk, and picked up some cow manure, some composted cow manure. They have a huge bank of it on their property, and I was like, hey, could I possibly have some of your cow manure? I would like to use it for my garden. So she said yes, and so I've been collecting it every time I go. So I'm making sure, I'm trying to get the manure that's pretty much composted. Like when I would dig into it, I could smell that compost smell. I could see the steam coming out of it. And I'm planning on laying that right here. I'm going to dig the potatoes into the ground first, and then I'm going to lay down that compost, and then I'm going to lay the wood chips. So I'm not going to dig the potatoes too far down, probably just double their size down, and then I'm going to layer that compost and then the wood chips on top. That's my plan. And then the rest of the compost I'm picking up, composted manure that I'm picking up, I'm going to be putting in my compost bin over there that I showed you in the last video. This video right here. I have my new composting system set up. I'm super excited about it. And so I'm going to be putting that composted manure over there and really trying to get that stuff to start breaking down ASAP. So that's what we're doing out here. Not too much exciting activity because we're just waiting for these freezes to stop. Everything out here is looking really pretty good, but I'm still kind of keeping things covered, especially tonight with I have one weather station telling me it's going to get down to 31 and another one saying it's going to get down to 29. So we're going to err on the side of caution. I'm just going to cover a few things just to give them the benefit of the doubt. And then after this week, if not later this week, because the temperatures are rising, I'm going to get that stuff out of my house, and we're going to get ready to get this garden going here in the next couple of weeks with all of our warm weather plants, which is really exciting. I've got strawberries I need to plant, figure out where those are going. I've got some asparagus starts that I need to get in the ground. There's a lot to be done. So I'm just trying to maximize the time, no matter how chilly it still may be. It's actually the next day. I ended up splitting this video up with my potato planting video that you can find right here at the end. Decided to split that up, but we did make it through the hard freeze. I actually left some plants uncovered just to see, and they did fine. So I put up all my stuff. I don't think I'm going to be worrying about covering anything from here on out. And I've got all my other cool season plants out here hardening off. I'm going to try to put those in the ground today. So thank you so much for watching. I will definitely keep you updated on my unorthodox seed sowing practices and anything else I decide to try as an experiment. I will be putting those in videos so you can follow along and maybe be unorthodox in your practices as well. So thanks for watching. Be sure and subscribe. My name's Landon Gilfillan here at Pepper and Pine Garden Design, growing gardeners and their gardens. We'll see you in the next video.